What's good? What's good? What's good? Um, so we're back here, right? And we like to operate on a level of transparency here, of thorough research and development, things like that. So with this recent Dak Prescott thing, what I'm seeing, and this may not be true, but what I'm seeing, shit, I'm more accurate than some of these quarterbacks on this list. And what I'm seeing a lot of is, there's this camp of you like Dak Prescott and you dislike Dak Prescott. You may not hate him as a person, but you dislike him as your quarterback. And it seems to be that the camp that dislikes Dak is like they're looking for anything that they can find that'll help their case. They're looking for any stat that they can find, right? It's not a situation where, oh, I don't like Dak Prescott because he's not good at throwing a deep ball. And then Dak comes out last year and he has one of the highest deep ball percentages. Then you go, well, he didn't throw a lot of deep balls, and then he top in deep ball attempts and yards traveled and all these metrics, right? It seems like everybody will try to find a new excuse. When Dak Prescott was winning, but he wasn't throwing deep balls well, he fixed that. Or when he was winning and he wasn't really getting the stats, man, Dak only had 18 passing touchdowns. Y'all want y'all quarterback to do that? Well, all right, cool. Well, Dak starts to lead the league in those metrics. But the 1 year he doesn't win more games than he loses, now all of a sudden Dak Prescott can't win football games. I just think that's interesting. And somebody called into my show the other day. Dolphy, shouts out to Dolphy. I don't know if he's listening. But he called into my show the other day, and he called in with this number. I don't know where the hell he got the number from. He was like, yeah, so Dak is like 5 and whatever number, like 5 and 10 versus winning teams or whatever. And I want my quarterback to be able to win, to win games versus good teams. Well, first of all, I feel like Dak had 5 wins over good teams in his first 2 years. And then there's been an additional 2 other years that you wasn't even counting. I got the number right here. Y'all just hang tight. One more talking point, and I thought this graphic was fantastic because we like to be comprehensive here. Shouts out to my man Taylor. He calls into my show. We follow each other on the tweet machine. He put together a really good graphic here, because some people understand graphics a little better. So we're going to put this up here, and y'all can cross-reference all these numbers. They all check out or whatever. But so we talk about Dak Prescott's playoff record, right? So first of all, Dak is 1-2 in the playoffs, just like Deshaun Watson is also 1-2 in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has no wins in the playoffs, in case y'all wanted to go there. Andy Dalton has no wins in the playoffs, in case you're one of those I am legend monsters that wanted to talk about that. So when we talk about Dak in the playoffs, let's just talk about our 4-year quarterback and what we're expecting of him, right? They're like, well, Voch, if he can't do it in the postseason, I don't want him to be able to do it. If you think about the games that we lost the Packers and the Rams. We gave up 30 points in those games on defense, and Dak did pretty well in those games. He was just driving. And I think that we were one drive away in both those games away from from having a chance of winning it or whatever. But anyway, Dak compared to some of these legends on the right side of your screen, except Carson Wentz, he's not a legend, but everybody else, right? Dak compared to these guys in the situation of I'm in a playoff game and my defense has given up 30 or more points. Do I have a chance of winning it, right? So Dak is 1-2 in the playoffs. All right, cool, whatever. But he's 0-2 when his team gives up 30 plus points, right? Let's take a look at some of the guys on this list. Tom Brady's an alien, so he's 2-2. Aaron Rodgers is 1-5, but this is where it gets real interesting here, right? Drew Brees is 0-3. Like I said, Dak is 0-2. Montana is 0-2. Brett Favre is 0-7. Peyton Manning is 2-4. Russell Wilson 0-3. Troy Aikman. Y'all can read the rest of this, right? What I'm saying is you can't make the fair argument that Dak can't win playoff games. Because if your defense is giving up 30 plus points, can't no damn quarterback, except for like 3 guys that's on this list, there aren't many quarterbacks that can overcome that deficit, right? So if you want to say, well, defense is an issue in our playoff games and our playoff pursuits, then you can say that. But you can't say that Dak is a problem. We can't really talk about playoff wins. You can't really talk about, yardage and, wins in the regular season, nothing like that. So it seems like the latest argument which kind of been around, but the latest argument now for Dak Prescott, I don't even want to say haters, but just anti-Dak Prescott people, is that he doesn't get it done versus winning football teams. Well, I compiled a list. It took me a long time to do it. I scoured the internet. I pulled those numbers together, and I've created, this list of 1, 2, 3. Hold up, damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quarterbacks and their winning percentages versus good teams. Now, I thought I had the percentage at first. I had the record right, but I didn't have the actual percent number because I'm an idiot. But what you got to do is you got to take the games won, divided sign the total games played or whatever. So that'll be the total games versus winning teams. And then you multiply it by 100. I'm not going to multiply it by 100. I'm just going to move the decimal 2 places. And if it's more than 5, I'll bump that last number up. That's just how I'm going to do it. Now that I've given y'all full transparency on how I'm doing it, we're talking about winning football teams. That's 500 over. And, and the number of quarterbacks that we're doing, we got our transparency out the way. So now it's time to hit y'all upside the head with this information. Let's get started. So before we get started, there's something else I want to address too. First of all, y'all will be surprised how not so often, I'm an idiot, how not so often quarterbacks play against good teams. And you would think that that you would play a bunch of good teams a lot, or that you would play against good teams a lot. But in real life, you don't play that many good teams on your schedule. If you got a schedule of 16 games, you may only play 3 good teams that year. And then there's a playoff record. This includes postseason as well. But even if you think about it, you know, there's only 12 teams in the playoffs altogether. And every single year there's 1 or 2 teams we're like, how the hell did they get into the playoffs? Because there are more playoff spots than there are playoff teams. There are more playoff spots than there are playoff teams. So when you see that, you know, a handful of these quarterbacks have only played against 15 or so or 18 good teams out of their 4 years in the league or whatever, it's kind of like surprising to you. I said that to say, because on that phone call with Dolphy the other day when he called in my show, y'all go watch that show. He was like, who cares what you do against the Dolphins and these bad teams, right? And I'm like, well, most of the time, that's who you're going to play against. We talk about good teams and we use the term taking care of business. You're going to play more bad teams than good teams. So you should care of what they're going to do versus the Dolphins, because that kind of lets you know where you are. You know, you can't say, I don't care what you do against Washington or what you do versus the Giants. Like, that's 4 games on our schedule. That's a whole quarter of your season dedicated to just the bad teams in your division. Tom Brady made a living off of smoking bad teams, right? So let's not say who cares what happens when we play against bad teams. We should care. But we talking about good teams today. So I compiled this list, and it's going to be a lot of numbers, so y'all bear with me. I don't know what my editing fatigue is going to feel like in terms of putting these numbers on the screen, but we'll see what happens. So as of now, let's talk about our guy first, Dak Prescott. I have him for 11 over 17. So what I would do in that math equation or whatever is I would take the 11 wins, and by that 17, that'll be 28 games altogether. So 11 over 17, whatever that number is, you move that decimal to the right 2 spots. And what you get is 39%, right? So Dak is a 39% quarterback versus good teams. But, and to be fair, that number doesn't sound great, but let's keep talking. Carson Wentz is 10 over 17. So that puts him at 37%. Let's see. Jared Goff, and it's very interesting because I want to see what his number going to turn into, because Sean McVay looked real different without Todd Gurley in his backfield. But anyway, Jared Goff is 12 for 16, and that puts him at 43%. Drew Brees, interestingly enough, 35%, less than Dak. I got Drew Brees down for 28 over 53. And it's crazy because you kind of do forget that Brees was like 7-9 his first like 3 years in a row with the Saints. He was like 7-9. Then it was like an 8-8 year. And then I think he won a Super Bowl or whatever. And then he proceeded to play. And Even with him playing, like, it's hard to beat good teams. Can we talk about that too, bro? Like, can we stop saying, like, it ain't easy beating good teams because they're good teams for a reason. If good teams lost so much, they wouldn't be good teams anymore. But anyway, yeah, I got Drew Brees at 35%, which is less than Dak Prescott. Goofy ass Cowboy fans been trying to get me to bring Cam Newton up in here. Cam Newton is at 38%. His number was, hold on, is on my, this a big jumble of mess, but I got it. I got the, hold on. Cam Newton was, okay, right here. He's 20 for 33 and one tie. There's a few ties. I just left the ties out because then you had to add a 0.5 to the equation, and, you know, I suck at math. But yes, Cam Newton is at 38%, right? Don't forget Dak at 39. Now, this should be on the screen. I did this for fun. Eli Manning was was damn 29%, 32 over 77, which is hysterical. And these next few names, like, there's two more categories that I'm going into, so hang tight. Like, some people really want to get into the whole, well, Dak ain't even top 10. Dak's not even a top 10 quarterback. Well, let's get into it. Derek Carr is at 21%. Derek Carr versus winning teams. He's 11 over 41. Just think about that for a second, right? Percentages, I know, right? The percentages sound very off. Like if Dak is 39% and Jared Goff is 43%. So 43% is higher than 39%, but Dak is 11 and 17 versus good teams, and Jared Goff is 12 versus 16. So the numbers are very, very close. And a lot of this is is how many games have you played for real, for real. That's why I didn't want to put Pat on this list. One, because we ain't talking about Pat, because we can't compare nobody to Pat. I think he's the best. He's the best in the league right now. But Pat probably got a total, like, what, 9 games versus good teams so far. He was hurt this year. You know what I mean? Even though that's what, out of 9 games, Pat probably what, like 7 and 2. 6 and 3 or some number like that. So I didn't do Pat's number, but a lot of this comes down to how many games have you played versus good teams. So let's just keep that into consideration. We talk about how trash Derek Carr was. I got a number for, so I thought I put the percentage down for Kirk Cousins. I didn't, but I could do that real fast for you. Kirk Cousins is 5 and 25 versus good teams. Now, I normally don't mention Kirk Cousins in my videos too much, but there are some I Am Legend monsters that will say, well, I'll take Kirk Cousins over Dak Prescott. So what we're going to do is 5 over, so that's a total 30 games. So 5 over 30, and you move the decimal place 2 spots. That'll put Kirk Cousins at a whopping, focus now. Did it focus in there? Did it focus? It ain't gonna show. But at a whopping 16%. Y'all can do the math on your own, like, calculators at home or whatever. So yeah, Kirk Cousins is 16% versus good teams. All right, brother. you do you, Playboy. Yes. So now this is the next point I want to bring up: Dak versus some of the higher level peers or whatever. What's interesting is that when people talk crazy about Dak Prescott, right? There is a camp of people that don't like Dak, but every time you mention him, they say things like, "Oh, well, Dak isn't better than Tom Brady. He's not better than Pat Mahomes." Well, look at the company that you're putting Dak in, right? Like if you're a Jets fan talking about Sam Darnold or whatever, then if you talking about Sam Darnold, you then going into this year, you gotta be like, man, Sam Darnold need to be better than Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield before I, take a liking to him. You know what I mean? It's all about your peers and your competition and your your difficulty of schedule or whatever. Every time we talk about Dak Prescott, what we say? We say he ain't Russell Wilson, he ain't Pat Mahomes, and somehow Tom Brady end up in the damn conversation. But let's keep looking at these numbers though. Let's see. Russell Wilson is incredible. These are 2 top numbers right here. The 2 top guys I got. Tom Brady is 73 and 45. Damn. Now part of that is old bodies because he was like 3 and 5 last year versus good teams or whatever. But it is what it is. But that is for Tom Brady 65%. 64%. I think that's like the highest ever out of everybody. Like nobody's higher than that. It's especially with those many games played, bro. For you to play over 100 games and still be 65%, That's top tier stuff. That's a lot of damn playoff wins, is what it is. So we ain't talking about Tom Brady and Russell Wilson at 56%. Russell Wilson's actual number is 32 over 25. So there you go there. And then I pulled some other numbers. I pulled one more trying to find Deshaun Watson. Yes, Deshaun Watson. And y'all know I got a real Dak versus Deshaun rivalry in my brain that I'm just going to pull together one day. The only stat that Deshaun Watson is better than Dak Prescott is, and I'm admitting this right now because we're transparent and very honest on this channel. The only stat that Deshaun Watson is better than Dak Prescott is winning percentage versus good teams. And Dak is at 39 and Deshaun Watson is at 44%. Deshaun Watson, I got him down for 8 and 10 versus good teams. So out of all the names on this list, only one quarterback has a winning record versus good teams, and that's Tom Brady. Everybody else got a losing record. It's just that how much do you win and lose versus those good teams? Now, this ain't a comprehensive list because I'm not putting everybody on this list because, like, why would I put Baker Mayfield on this list? Or why would I put Josh Allen on this list? All those guys' numbers are less than Dak, of course. So I said all that to say that, you know, it's not easy to win versus good teams. And there's only a handful of quarterbacks that consistently win versus good teams. And if you look at Dak compared to his peers, whether it be people under him or people over him, they all relatively got the same number versus good teams. So we can't really use good teams or Dak's record versus good teams as a reason not to pay Dak Prescott, because if that's the case, you wouldn't pay only 3 quarterbacks to get paid in the league. Everybody else would just be, I don't know, making like backup quarterback money. But anyway, I just wanted to share those numbers with you, man. I just wanted to bring a little bit of transparency to my argument. And if Dak is like 6th in the argument of, record versus good teams or like percentage versus good team, if he's 6th, I'll take that every day. Because he's 1st in everything else, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th in everything else. He top 5 in all these other categories. So if Dak Prescott is gonna be, 6th in something, I don't mind it. What I've learned from this exercise is that Dak is a lot more like his peers than most people give him credit for. It is what it is. That's just that. Hey, man, I don't want to hold y'all too long. Yeah, okay, this wasn't a long blog, 22 minutes. So that'll put me down for like, this will edit down to like 13 or 15 or something like that. So cool little video, cool little soliloquy and all that. I just kind of wanted to bring a little thought and information to the table, to share some of my findings and to continue this fight, of people hating on my damn quarterback. All right. So with that being said, man, shouts out to my Patreon people. Y'all fantastic. Shouts out to my Cash App, PayPal, my merch gang people, just everybody. Shouts out to all that support. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. And there are a lot more upgrades to come on this channel. Next, we're upgrading the live stream. So stay tuned to what we do with that good work over there. All right. Get some merch too. That link is in the description. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey, man. Till next time, bro. Peace.